Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're continuing our series with the best SDS rotary hammers, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about this lime green, yellow, blackish looking tool from Ryobi in their HP ONE Plus lineup, right? So if you don't know about Ryobi, Ryobi is pretty much the brand that is exclusively sold at the Home Depot, along with Rigid, but Ryobi is more of the entry-level, beginner type, DIY type brand, poised lineup. But that doesn't mean they don't make great things, because every tool company I feel like at least makes some great things and some not so great, right? But today's episode we're going to be talking about this. The other brand we're kind of pointed to was the Rigid, which is also exclusively the Home Depot brand, but that's more as the pro brand, right? So that's what it's considered. I'm not telling you that's what it is, all right? So this tool is in their ONE Plus lineup, and what Ryobi really markets that with is they got pretty much one battery. It's the same battery form factor they've been using pretty much forever, and when I say forever, it means like back probably 20 something years ago or whatnot, when the Ryobi 18-volt lineup used to be color scheme like blue, yellow, black, right? But they're still using the same form factor battery they've had ever since, you know, beginning of time. And they kind of call that ONE Plus because that one battery is capable in pretty much all of their 18-volt tools. So even if I took this battery and put it in that 18-volt tool from, let's say, 15, 20 years ago, it would still work, right? That's the good thing about Ryobi. They've kind of stayed true to that battery lineup, right? You can't say that for almost all other tool manufacturers because they've kind of transitioned as they moved on to lithium packs, right? They started a different lineup, right, so to say, right? They went from like stick packs to like slide packs and, you know, changed the tools that you need to buy. But if you have Ryobi till 15 years old, you can buy a battery at Home Depot today and you'll still be good to go. All right, so enough about that. Let's talk about this tool here. So this right here is a brushless compact in their HP, which is their performance lineup from Ryobi, and this being compact makes it lightweight, right? So does this tool perform on par with some of the other tools we've tested so far? If you want to know the answer to that, stick with us. This right here is the Ryobi 18-volt ONE Plus HP Compact Brushless 5/8" SDS-Plus Rotary Hammer drill. The model number on this drill is PSBRH01B. It is using ONE Plus HP technology that delivers up to 6,200 RPMs and is 43% lighter weight with one-handed use. It only has two modes, rotary hammer and drill mode. So in case you're wondering if it had chipping mode, it does not, okay? This uses the HP ONE Plus technology to deliver more runtime, more power, more durability, and speed using brushless motors using advanced high-performance technology combined with high-performance lithium technology in the batteries. The compact tools are the lightest and the smallest they've ever made, delivering optimal power to get the job done, and it measures only 11.4 inches in length, which makes it ideal for working in tight spaces, okay? This includes the standard Ryobi 3-year manufacturer's warranty, and you can buy this as a tool only for roughly around 150 bucks, or you could buy it with a compact 2 amp hour battery and charger for just about $40 more, putting it at roughly about $190, okay? This tool is equipped with an LED light. All right, so this right here is obviously a left-hand power drill, and let's go ahead and talk about the obvious, right? Which is this piece of wood, right? Why do we have this wood here? It's obvious. Here you go. That's why. So even with a 3 amp hour HP Plus battery, it will not stay up by itself. So you either put it down like this or you have to lay it down, right? But that's kind of why we have this little piece of wood there, so scrap that we picked up just to hold it up, okay? But on the left-hand part, you got two modes right here. This is your selector dial. This is rotary hammer drill mode. And if you hold it and press it over here or switch it over here, this becomes drill only mode. So as we already talked about, it does not include chipping mode. So in case you're thinking about picking this up to do scraping or chipping or jackhammering, hopefully you're not doing that, but if you need to do it for anything that needs hammer only mode, you cannot do that with this tool, okay? So other than that, on this part, this side of the tool, there's pretty much really nothing to talk about except for its lime greenness, right? And this right here, you can see the fins on the rotor that actually spin to make it go around. So the air goes in and out of these holes between here, here, and on the backside here. Okay, so if you're using this in a very dusty place, you know, it's probably going to not last as long, right? So just keep that in mind as you move with that. Okay, one thing that is not obvious on here is this little black part that looks rubberish. It's a rubber overmold type material. I'm pretty sure it's covering, but the point I'm making here is that it means this is a little bit detached from this, right? And what that does is this action here, right, as you can see, if you squeeze it together, it kind of compresses, and that kind of produces, or you know, performs as a vibration suppression type system, absorbing some of the vibration that's put out by this tool. Okay, so if you're pressing on it really hard, you're not going to get that, you know, benefit of it, but you got to press on it moderately and let the tool do the work, right? That's pretty much all you really got to do here. Okay, so as we're on here, let's talk about this part right here. Standard forward and reverse switch. Go from this side, your left side, to the right side is reverse. Going from this side, right side, to left side is forward as always. This right here, using, you know, pretty much being a one-handed tool or design, it's got a one-finger trigger, and it is variable speed. Here, we'll show you here real quick. Right, so it's got that nice variable speed trigger, but it is one finger. Okay, as you can see on here, it has an LED light that stays pretty bright and it's pretty good to use, especially if you're using this overhead and you're putting it in like a dark drop ceiling type space and there's no lighting there. It actually becomes really useful, because we did have to try some Tapcons and that actually, you know, worked pretty well, right? But I will go ahead and tell you, you do not want to use this tool overhead because there's no dust extraction mechanism for it. So if you're using it overhead, pretty much all the dust is dropping down on top of you, and that's just not great, right? So for tools using things like that, you want one with dust extraction, because, you know, that obviously helps, unless you just have some attachment that does pull the dust in that is not attached to the drill, right? So just keep that in mind. Other than that, there's an option for a belt hook here, or a screw where you would put it in case that's what you need to do. Here's a place where you put a lanyard for a fall rest type system. Nothing fancy going on the back. On this other side, there's really nothing going in on here. It's pretty much exactly the same as the other side. Okay, so as you can see here, there's no frills, no thrills. If you've been following the hammer drill channel, or if you've been following other hammer drill videos, or if you've just used this tool a lot, these tools a lot, you'll pretty much notice it doesn't have a depth rod, and it doesn't also have an auxiliary handle. Okay, so this is poised in their compact lineup, so it's really designed for like one-handed use, and this thing works great for like overhead, or you just got to reach up in high spaces like we talked about earlier. But if you're needing to do any serious holes that you need to drill or perform in, this is probably not going to be the tool for you. We'll go ahead and look at the numbers soon, and that's pretty much going to speak for itself. But if all you need to do, or if you're looking for tools that are going to be lightweight that you could use one-handed, it looks like this is pretty much designed for you. But the problem is, without a depth rod system, you're just going to have to be eyeballing it, or just know exactly how far you need to drill and things like that. All right, so those numbers were obviously not fast as you would probably have expected, but let's go take a look at the numbers and see what it says, okay? So we ran this Ryobi drop motor style HP ONE Plus tool with the 3 amp hour HP ONE Plus battery, which is the battery lineup that it's designed for. And on the first run, it took 54.98 seconds. Second run took 49.62 seconds. And on the third run, took 48.28 seconds. You average the 3 runs, it comes in at 50.96 seconds, okay? This is obviously in their SDS Plus lineup, and let's go take a look at some of the specs, okay? The impact force of this tool is 0.8 foot-pounds, and yes, that is not a typo. It is 0.8 pounds according to Ryobi, and that's also BPM is at 6,200 BPMs and RPMs is at 1,250 RPMs. So if you take the work done per minute, you can kind of think about it as 4,960, right? The good thing about this tool is that it is lightweight, and this is the tool only comes in weighing at a whopping 3.3 pounds. Other than that, it really doesn't have all those safety features built into it, you know, like bind up controls, clutching, and all that kind of fun stuff. And obviously, it has no side handle, okay? So with the score of 50.96, where's it put it on the leaderboard? Let's go take a look. Bam, it puts this tool in last place on the leaderboard, right? And as most of you probably already have expected that is exactly what happened. And let's go take a look at the numbers. Why, okay? So first of all, this tool is rated for only up to 5/8 of an inch, okay? And this tool is designed to be in the compact class, okay? So with that, going back to the specs, the weight of the tool alone is only 3.3 pounds, right? So out of all the tools we've tested so far on the leaderboard, that is the lightest tool we have tested, okay? So if you're working overhead or in high up places like that where you have to put it, you know, higher, then this tool is probably going to be the tool you're kind of looking for, right? But if you look at the impact force, which is 0.8, it's actually in pretty much sub 1 foot-pound of impact force, right? And that's kind of probably why we have to assume they did not include chipping mode or hammer mode only on this tool, mainly because with a force of that magnitude, or you know, that little, it's probably not going to be as effective. Sure, it could probably do some chipping, but it won't be that effective, okay? So if you're looking for a chipping tool, do not buy this tool. There you go, okay? Interestingly enough, it does have a high BPM, probably one of the fastest BPMs we've tested so far, and it has an RPM of 1250, right? So that's not the fastest, but it is one of the fastest RPMs we've tested so far, just below the DeWalt DCH-133, which is the D-handle style, right? So it's got high speed in terms of drilling, but the impact force is just too light, and that's probably why the tool itself also just does not perform that well in terms of this setup, okay? So what can we say about this tool, right? So obviously Ryobi's making tools for a long time, and they will continuously probably making tools for a lot longer, mainly because, you know, it's a very wide brand of tools that are sold pretty much nationwide, all over the place, and you could pick them up readily, okay? So this tool, I kind of remind you, is in the Compact Brushless HP class, which is their performance class, but is in their, you know, light class, pretty much what that means, the compact class. So it's not designed, and it's probably not going to perform well on the leaderboard of the test track, as we have assumed, because that test track is designed for 1/2 inch masonry bit, right? So yes, theoretically speaking, this 1/2 inch is less than 5/8, right? But the 5/8 is really technically the maximum drill size that they would probably recommend. Most of the drills we've been testing so far on this series have been either 1 inch or just a little bit bigger, right? So 1/2 inch, they're gonna be doing a lot better than, right? So would I go out and buy this tool? The question I would answer that is, it really depends on what you need to do, right? So if you're looking to drill like small tap cons overhead, or just small anchors overhead, or whatever, small tiny holes, yes, this is probably a good tool for that. But like I said, you need to get a dust extraction system, because you're drilling overhead, everything's falling on top of you. That's just not great. And this tool doesn't have a dust extraction system paired with it. So, you know, you're gonna have to take that with a grain of salt, right? But if you're just drilling, you know, small holes like small tap cons, or any kind of small anchoring, then yeah, you could probably do well with this tool. And I will go ahead and say we did buy this tool. It is not sponsored. They did not send it to us. The reason we bought this tool was mainly because we saw it on clearance and it was only about $49 or something like that, right? So for 50 bucks, would I go out and buy this tool again? Probably, mainly for, you know, the few times it comes over where we may have to do something overhead. That may be a thing, but probably not, mainly because we would use something that has a dust extraction hook to it. But for 50 bucks, can you go wrong with this? Probably not, right? But most likely, if you're looking to do anything bigger than that, you probably don't want to pick up this tool. We just really here to see how it stacks up against other tools we've tested so far. And we have the answer, okay? Not to say it's a bad tool. Like I said, it's kind of had its purpose and its place. So if that's what you're looking for, go out and buy it. Obviously, Ryobi batteries are readily available. You can pick them up anywhere. I'll stop jibber jabbering. Hope this video helped you guys out. Get back to work, and we'll see you guys next time.